Hey, Captain Logos here, preacher at large, teaching the word, inspiring, 3 minutes at a time. Hey, I'm in Haggai today, Haggai 2, and they're rebuilding the temple, right? And then the prophet begins to speak to the priest and to the king, and he's basically saying, hey, they're all unclean in this unclean nation, and that they need to get away from this nation, right? And they need to be by themselves and sanctify themselves. And so the prophet tells them, look, in the past, the temple was built up and he had all this glory, but then the temple was destroyed. Now this is the second rebuilding of the temple in Haggai. And the prophet was making a comparison from the old temple to the new temple, and the new temple would have more glory, right? And then he went on to say, there's one little line in there that caught my eye, and it says that God came out and he says, look, God did all these things to the nation of Israel, right? They kept going into sin, so God allowed them to be conquered, allowed them to be taken over, allowed his temple to be destroyed, so that they would learn a lesson that they did not learn. But finally now, they've learned their lesson after several hundred years of captivity, again, right? And so they're rebuilding the temple, and he says that I did all these things. I brought pestilence and mildew, and I brought all these things so that I could turn you to me, declares the Lord. Now there's two ways to look at that. A lot of people would look at that and say, man, all this carnage and all this bad stuff that happened to me, why did God allow this to happen to me? Why not? Well, my question is, why not you? We always say, why me, God? But God's probably sitting up there saying, well, why not you? You're no better than anybody else. You're all the same, right? So what are you, wishing it on somebody else when you say that? All right, enough of that. But the thing is, God allowed all that to happen, and here's how a response should be, is we should turn to the Lord. Yes. God loves us so much that he would destroy his own temple, his own culture, and everything to get you to understand it's all about him. Turn back to God. If your relationship with God is cold, turn back to God. Look, man, there's a lot of things he did in the Old Testament we don't understand, but he did it because he loved us and he wanted the people of Israel to turn from their wicked ways and turn to him. Not everything that happens to us, right, in life is because of us, and not everything that happens to us in life is our fault, but a lot of stuff happens. But we just need to look to God. We can't explain it. Turn to God. He's waiting for you to turn to him. Now, look at your face in the Bible.